Have you ever believed in something without having all the evidence? Maybe it was a dream you followed, a person you trusted, or a decision you made from your heart. William James, one of the most influential thinkers in psychology and philosophy, argued that believing without certainty isn't just common, it's necessary. In his famous essay, The Will to Believe, he defends our right to believe in things even when we don't have conclusive proof. Let me explain. In everyday life, we often make choices without knowing everything. We fall in love, choose careers, make friends, and take risks, sometimes guided more by hope or intuition than by logic. According to James, that's not a flaw. It's human. James wrote The Will to Believe as a response to people who said, "You should never believe anything unless you have solid evidence." But James asked, what happens when waiting for absolute proof means missing the chance to act? He used this example. Imagine two mountain climbers and one is stuck on a dangerous ledge. The only way out is to jump across a gap. If the climber believes they can make it, they might survive. But if they wait to prove it's possible, they'll hesitate and fall. In cases like this, belief becomes part of the solution. Doubt leads to inaction. Faith leads to possibility. James believed that in situations where a decision must be made and the evidence is unclear, we have the right to choose belief, especially if the belief could bring meaning, hope, or transformation. This idea applies deeply to personal values, relationships, and even spirituality. Let's say you're considering a new opportunity, a career shift, starting a business, or moving to a new country. There's no guarantee you'll succeed, but you feel a pull toward it. According to James, if the opportunity is real and waiting for perfect proof would mean missing it forever, then believing becomes a valid option. You're not being irrational. You're being brave. Now, that doesn't mean believing in anything blindly. James wasn't saying we should throw logic out the window. He made it clear. Belief without evidence is only justifiable when the decision is urgent, the choice is forced, and the outcome matters. This principle also applies to relationships. When we choose to trust someone, we're not doing it because we have mathematical proof they'll never hurt us. We trust because we want connection. And sometimes that leap of faith creates the very trust we're hoping for. James argued that believing can create truth, not in a magical way, but in a psychological one. When we believe in others, in love, in ourselves, or in a better future, we act differently. We show up with courage. And that belief often changes reality. But here's the twist. We also have the right not to believe. James wasn't forcing anyone to accept ideas blindly. He was defending our right to believe when belief matters and when inaction would mean losing something valuable. In today's world, we're often told to follow the science or prove it first. And yes, evidence is essential. But in the messy, emotional, and uncertain parts of life, we also need room for faith. James's message is simple, but powerful. Sometimes the leap of faith is the most logical move we can make. So next time you find yourself hesitating, waiting for perfect certainty, ask yourself, is this one of those moments where belief is the beginning, not the end? Sometimes we don't need all the answers to move forward. Sometimes believing is how we make meaning, find strength, and change our lives. And more importantly, belief is what gives us the courage to begin. When there's no guarantee and no clear outcome, we still have the freedom to choose hope. That's what James called the right to believe. In a world where uncertainty is constant and doubt is everywhere, this message is more relevant than ever. Belief isn't weakness. It's what moves us forward when nothing else can. That's the will to believe. And sometimes it makes all the difference.